So, Jack, I mean, man, with your skill set, which would you say you love the most as far as entertainment is concerned? Do you love the writing aspect, the acting, the producing? Which one
Oh,
do you favor the most?
oh my God. Like that's actually a really good question, man. Because
Thank you.
I mean, like I've actually worked on all three of those fronts before,
Hmm.
like acting, writing, and producing
Hmm.
my own works. Um, I'd have to say, well, I'd have to say because I've been doing it for so long, like I started doing it when I was 6 years old and professionally when I was 16. I would have to say like acting
Okay.
is probably my yeah, like my favorite one. Like, just to go on set, sort of like become different people, like understand, sort of like their humanity as well
Hmm.
as understand the other people's humanity.
Hmm.
It's just really interesting. I mean, I definitely do want to continue to write and produce and everything. And I mean, both of those areas are really fun to do and everything. But I think because I've been doing acting more than I have with like writing and producing, I would have to say acting's probably the one that I find the most fun.
Okay. Okay. Well, that definitely answers. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, you said you've been acting since you were six, and then professionally since
Hmm.
16. You've been at it a
Yeah.
long time. That's impressive. Wow. How did you get into it?
Well, yeah. So I'd have to say, like, when I was a kid, like, before I was six, I was kind of like a little bit like worried. I didn't know like what I was going to do with my life. I was a
Okay.
quiet kid. I didn't
Sure.
know what the future had in store for me and everything. And it's just that I know that this is going to sound like really weird, but but for me, like it kind of like inspired me. So when I was a kid, I used to watch like a lot of like animation films, like Disney, DreamWorks. Like I watched like like for Disney, I watched Aladdin, The
Mhm.
Lion King,
Mhm.
um, oh God. Like so many Disney films. Pixar, I watched Shrek, Pixar, I watched A Monsters Inc., A Bug's Life. And I mean, like at that time I considered like The Jungle Book like one of the best films ever made and everything. And it's
Mm.
just like those films like really spoke to me and just like the characters, like the amazing and some cases quite crazy journeys that they go on and everything. It just really spoke to me. Like I was just sort of like drawn to those kind of to those kind of films and everything. And I
Mm.
think like because of like those films, it just made me feel like, oh, this is what I want to do. Sort of like be involved in that world of not just acting, but filmmaking in
Mm.
general.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Okay. In terms of the different things you've done, because again, you've done a lot of things, what would you say has been your favorite project that you've worked on so far and why?
Um, well, I would have to. I mean, I feel guilty if I
It's
say
okay.
if I say viral haunt. So yeah, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, the casting crew, the of viral haunt. I know that they mean well.
Sure.
Really, really lovely bunch of people.
Of course.
I'd have to say, but my favorite film that I've ever acted in would have to be Monstrosities. Like
Okay.
that was like the first film that I wrote and produced and everything.
Oh, congratulations. Wow.
And yeah, like I think like that was like I think it was like back in 2016
Hmm.
Monstrosity happened and
Hmm.
everything. and
Hmm.
and yeah, like I remember like I remember the process. Like I had to audition for this film called Double Take, which was directed by James Rollins,
Hmm.
who would help direct Monstrosity and everything. And I had to do like this situation, this scene from the film Fight Club and everything, where I was the narrator, Edward Norton's character. So I did the audition, first time ever. Like the whole room just like erupted in like a standing applause. So yeah, like it was a first for me, and I think it was like about like 1 or 2 months. I contacted James and asked him like, hey mate, what's the result? Hey Jack, so unfortunately you didn't get the role. Like we felt like you looked a little too young, but
Hmm.
I mean like I was impressed by your performance at the audition. I want to work with you on like a film. Like, do you have a film
Wow.
idea and everything? So I mean, not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous at first. I was like,
Mhm.
oh God, like I've never written and produced a film. Oh God, like I've never created my own film and that kind of stuff. But then I took a moment and thought, like, you know what, this is a golden opportunity. I'm just
Mhm,
gonna like go, just run with it, just go with it,
mhm.
and say see what happens. And yeah, like everyone involved in Monstrosity and James, they were just so helpful in everything, and just making Monstrosity possible. We only the production of the film only lasted for like 1 week
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
everything, but it was still like a really really fun process,
Sure. Sure.
and I had like a better understanding of like how the writing process is done, how the
Mhm,
producing process is done, and everything. Like
mhm,
all sort of like the technical aspects. Even though I was more of like an actor filmmaker
mhm,
who works mostly with the cast,
mhm.
it was still like a good learning experience. And I think like that film got like 50 film festival selections and a lot of wins, including like
Wow.
best actor and everything. So
Wow.
that was the film that sort of like that I didn't not only did I have like the most fun in doing, but it sort
Mhm.
of like motivated me to get into that world of writing and producing.
Okay. Well, I definitely salute and congratulate you, Jack, for the fact that you're welcome. When you were faced with a challenge and you didn't, you stepped up to it, and ultimately it seems like the experience made you a better entertainer in terms of multiple regards, like you said, with the writing, with knowledge of learning the technical, and of course sharpening your acting, which is always a good thing. So congratulations
Mm,
to you for doing that.
thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Do you have a favorite genre that you enjoy performing in?
So favorite genre,
Hmm.
I'd have to say favorite genres, I would have to say,
Okay. Okay.
would probably have to be drama, suspense, thriller. I do like a little bit of horror, just as long as it's like not too, I mean, sort of like not too over the top, something like
Hmm.
Saw, where it's a
Hmm.
gore fest.
Sure.
Yeah, just sort of like that grounded like horror film, and I also like acting in dark comedies as well.
Okay.
I mean that's like my favorite type of comedy, dark comedies and
Sure,
everything.
sure.
So I guess like it's kind of like sort of like the dark and more grounded kind of stuff and everything. Sort of like the basic meat and potatoes, as I always like to say. Just
Okay.
something that isn't too pretentious, something that isn't too flashy, isn't too like, like sort of like show it in your face, and everything.
Hmm.
Just something that's like very grounded and everything, and something that the people can relate to in terms of like
Sure.
storytelling, the people or characters, and the message.
Okay. I
Mm.
understand.
And I'm like that with when it comes to sort of like watching TV series
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm. Okay. Jack, how did you get involved with Viral Haunt? And also tell me about your experience working on Viral Haunt.
So, I mean, Viral Horn, it was really interesting. So,
Okay.
like, I was checking, because I'm a member of like this acting platform called Backstage,
Hmm.
and so like I was like scrolling through, sort of like newsfeed, UK acting jobs and everything, and I saw Viral Horn pop up and everything, and obviously before I started, putting my application forward, or applications, because I applied for more than one role,
Hmm.
um obviously, like I always do, I would read through the, plot summary, I would read through the character bios,
Hmm.
availability. I'm like, okay, da da da, okay, looks good.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it looks good. Very, very, very interesting concept and everything. The first um film that came to mind when I read through like the production details was like um Paranormal Activity and
Mm.
the Blair Witch Project and
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm. Okay.
And but it was like sort of like with the use of like social media and everything. And I thought
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. And
Hmm.
obviously when I was like going through the character bios, I was like, okay, I can go for Richard, the role that I ended up getting cast in. I could go for Jake. I can go for Joe, opening boy that gets killed in it at the start of the film, and everything, etc. So I started submitting those applications, and
Okay.
then Natasha got back to me and said that for each application, like, hey Jack, do you mind if you could submit the self tape? So I did the opening I submitted my self tape for the opening boy one, which I thought I was fine with that one.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
good. Um, I submitted the sort of like the killer one, which involved like a fight choreography one, which was kind of like interesting in a good sort of way because I've never done like a sort of like a self tape that requires me to do like film combat and everything. So
Mhm.
I submitted those self tapes. I submitted the Richard one. I felt the Richard one I was like really happy with.
Mhm.
I felt like okay, yeah, like the Richard one, I'm really happy with that. I was really pleased with that one.
Okay.
And then it was actually really funny because I was working on and preparing for my Joe self tape,
Mhm.
and then Natasha messaged me back and said like oh hey hey Jack, so we watched your Opening Boy, Killer, and Richard self tapes. We really loved your Richard self tapes.
Okay.
So therefore, you're our Richard. I was like, oh wow, okay. So I kind of like put the Joe what I because I was like currently working on Joe,
Mhm.
um, sort of preparing my self tape for the Joe one.
Sure.
I didn't make a start. I didn't make a start on the Jake one, so I kind of like put those two aside. I was like, because there was no need to. I was like, okay, cool. I'm Richard,
Mhm. Right.
and yeah, just like the production, it was definitely like really interesting because like we shot at like this Craven Arms. I can't remember what the place was. Like we it was supposed to be like this Ripper Manor where the haunt hunters that Richard's a part of gets to like film there and everything.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just like it was just so amazing. Like I rehearsed with the cast like on Zoom beforehand, and I did like my own preparation with other actors and readers on We
Mhm.
Audition and everything. And
Sure.
when it came to working on set, like every one of us, we just bonded so well together. I'm just so so happy not to just be a part of something special and something unique, but I'm so proud of everyone. I mean, like we obviously we all come like we all have like different personalities and
Sure.
everything,
Mhm.
but we were just able to click so well and everything. And I mean, everyone like just gave it their all. Natasha, Stephen, Kelly, Jack, who by the way was absolutely phenomenal as Jake,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
Will and Heavily and Elliot, like and the whole crew. I really owe it to those guys. Like those guys have just been an absolute blast. It was actually quite for me. I don't know if anyone else felt this way. It was kind of sad when the production ended. Like, but no, I had such a good time like working with them. Those guys were just terrific. Absolutely terrific.
I've heard nothing but good things from every one of you that I spoke with in terms of the experience. That's a beautiful thing. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. Jack, I am just so thankful again for you taking the time to talk with me. Hopefully you'll have a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to seeing more out of you.
Thanks, Kendrick,
You're
and I hope
welcome.
to see I hope to see more from you too as well, man.
I
And
appreciate you.
like yeah, like the films that you're doing and everything, and just the film festival selections that your films have been receiving.
Thank you.
It's just absolutely phenomenal, man. Just keep
Thank you
at
so
it,
much.
and
Thank you.
you know, just keep working at it, man.
Thank you very
I'm really
much.
really proud of you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that encouragement, brother. I will hold on to it. I will keep it close to me, and I will continue to try to do my best. And I know you will do the same.
All right,
It has been
thank you
an
so much,
honor and a
Kendrick.
privilege. Thank you so much, Jack. You take care, okay?
All right, yeah, take care, mate.
Thanks.